What's love got to do with it? Clearly, I chose the title of this video from the Tina Turner song by the same name. In that song, love is described by two phrases. It is described as a second-hand emotion, implying that love is useless and worthless, and as a sweet old-fashioned notion, implying that while it might be something we desire, it's not something that we can achieve. Now, I understand that the perfect purpose of that song was to emphasize that what's love worth if we end up with a broken heart, hence the phrase, who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? But we all clearly understand that love is very important to our relationships. I'm the communication doc, and if you haven't looked at my introduction video explaining the purpose of my YouTube channel, then please go ahead and check that out. In this two-part video series, I'm going to be talking about love and how we can make sure that we understand what we mean when we use the word love. So our modern concept of love is both historically and culturally defined. And words in general are arbitrary symbols that we use to apply to either ideas or concrete objects in our environment. So for example, I'm looking at a computer. This is a concrete object, and someone decided arbitrarily that an object with these characteristics in English should be called a computer. But we also use those symbols or words to apply to abstract concepts like love. We don't actually have a symbol in the real world that is love. Now, we understand that love is important, and we even can see that evidenced by the fact that we are celebrating Valentine's Day today. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you. We sometimes will use symbols like a cupid or a heart with "be mine" on it to imply love, but we understand that those things are not actually love. In English, we only have the one word love to refer to a variety of types of love. The ancient Greeks actually had 8 words to describe different types of love. So I'm going to go through a really brief review of the 8 types of love. There are numerous sites on the internet where you can get more detailed information about these 8 types of love if you decide to do that. The first type of love is Eros. This is that passionate, exciting, that feeling that you get. It's often based on attraction, physical attraction, and even sexual attraction. The second type of love is Ludus, and this often accompanies the Eros type of love. It's that game playing kind of thrill of the chase type love, where you're trying to plan how you can get somebody's attention and what you should do or say next to help move the relationship forward. The third type of love is Philutia, which is self-love. Now, a lot is said in our society about the importance of loving ourselves. And the reality is we are born loving ourselves. If you doubt that, all you have to do is look at an infant and a young child, and you'll see that they clearly love themselves more than anyone else. They demand what they want when they want it. Nothing else matters. No one else matters. It's only as children start to grow and we as parents teach them that they have to also, or that they should also love others, that they start to grow out of that complete self-focus. Unfortunately, we have a lot of adults in our society who were never taught that or chose not to accept that and end up being very selfish, self-centered, and narcissistic. I would argue that we could solve a lot of our society's problems by not loving ourselves more, but by loving others as much as we already love ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that self-love is not important. There are some people who often as children grew up abused or told that they were worthless and so don't see value in themselves. And for those people, they definitely need to develop a self-love. But again, I would argue that the vast majority of people don't need more self-love. They need more love for others. The fourth type of love occurs when any of these first 3 get out of balance, and it's mania or obsessive love. Now, for the person who is experiencing this obsession, it of course seems like love. For the person on the receiving end of the obsessive behavior, it does not look like love at all. The fifth type of love is pragma. This is a practical, committed kind of love. This is the love you see in relationships that have existed for a long period of time, often romantic relationships, where the passion they had when they initially were together may not be there all the time, but they're very companionable together and they're very committed to their relationship. The sixth type of love is Storge or familial love. We can see this type of love best represented in the relationship of a parent to a child. So this type of love is unconditional and it's often one-sided. If you have children, you understand that as a parent, you give so much to your children and they can never give back to you everything you give to them, nor do you even expect that. And so in that sense, the love is unconditional and it's not reciprocated to the same degree that it's given. The seventh type of love is phileo or phileo love, which is friendship love. And this is a very important type of love and is characterized by a lot of the words we would use to describe what is a friend. Loyalty, trust, companionship, even to a certain degree, intimacy that is achieved through sharing, through self-disclosure. The last type of love is agape love. This is a self-sacrificing type of love that is often associated or thought of as being godlike. We have characteristics of agape love and some of these other types of love I've discussed, in that in a number of relationships we can demonstrate sacrificial, self-sacrificing type of love. But this type of love is not specifically directed at a particular person, a friend, a romantic partner, a family member. It is more general in that it applies to the world at large, your neighbors, even strangers. We can see glimpses of this type of love when we think of, for example, first responders, people who run into a burning building to rescue people they don't know. They're evidencing a self-sacrificing kind of love for someone with whom they have no relationship. The last four types of love I've just described should characterize relationships that are more long-lasting, more committed, that involve more self-sacrifice, of course, and that because of those other characteristics also end up being more satisfying. Those are the kinds of relationships that we really want to develop because we're going to feel more satisfied in and with those kinds of relationships. In the second part of this video, I'm going to talk about how we use the word love and making sure that we understand what we mean when we do. So until next time, I'm the Communication Doc, wishing you healthy relationships through competent communication.